Well, good evening, folks. The Sandman, back at it. The super affiliate network maniac. And I started this video, and I may have to start it again, but I have trouble with my teeth staying tight tonight, and it really affects my speech. Let me tell you, folks, don't do what you can to keep your original teeth as long as you can. Because when they're gone, and if you can't afford to get implants, false teeth are a joke. They are the most miserable things. Now, if they worked, it would be okay. But food gets under them. They come loose while you're eating. Your mouth is all stiff. You go take a drink and everything's stiff because you got that hard piece of plastic in there. It's not fun. Anyway, enough of that. But I had to start this video over because my ornaments came loose. But, you know, I'm ready to go home, and I finally get to go home tomorrow. You know, I told my wife this was her trip. You call the shots. I thought after the granddaughter left on Monday to go back that we'd probably leave on Tuesday. Well, we're leaving Thursday. But, you know, she's happy. This was her trip to see her family. And I'm not going to interfere with it. You know, we need to get home so we can get ready for the next trip. You know, our fifth wheel. But anyway, I learned something. I had an incident happen the other night that really, well, made me mad. Don't take much to do that, but anyway, I got stopped by a cop. You know, we've been traveling back and forth between one daughter's house, and then everybody's getting together up at the other daughter's house during the day. Well, one evening coming back, they had this, you know, Albuquerque is something else. These cops around here, they'll stop you for nothing. I mean, I'm just coming down the road, well in the speed limit, because they got a 35 to 45 mile an hour speed limit. And I can understand that. That's not too hard. And I was just minding my own business, making sure I didn't get a ticket. The daughters warned us, don't speed. Well, here comes these red lights, red and blue lights on me. So I pull over, and she pulled me over. I wasn't even going out of my lane, but I was weaving, you know, I was going back and forth in my lane, just kind of going down. It's hard to see at night here with all the lights shining from the street lights and the headlights and everything. Anyway, she said that I was wandering in the lane. She was wondering if I was okay. I'm thinking, yeah, right. That's just called harassment. And I didn't tell her that, but I would have if she would have given me a ticket. But anyway, she goes and checks me out, takes my license and my registration and all that stuff. And then she comes back and she says, I know it says you're supposed to wear correcting lenses. She was real nice, but she was harassing. And I said, well, I had eye surgery, I had cataracts removed, and I had laser eye surgery, and I got a slip in my wallet that says I'm okay without those now. But she took my word for it. I was having a hard time finding it. I had it really buried. I've never had to use it. And anyway, so she said, well, we'll let you go, but just be careful, you know, Mr. Jorgensen. And I'm like, You can't even drive minding your own business. You got to buy a permit for everything nowadays too. There's more rules and regulations than one brain can entertain. Anyway, especially my brain. But it's just like my sand business. We're going home short of money till next payday because we overspent on the trip, which isn't hard to do. You know, you're trying to, you know, do your share on the outings and stuff. And anyway, we run short. And I was talking last December, like by now I would be in good shape because I was planning on running my traffic, and I never ran my traffic. Didn't have the money, and then I got started with this other thing. But rules. This system has a formula that if you follow it and put a lot of energy into it, as far as pumping it out, you just take massive action doing the things that you should do. And I found that out. I made $1,000 my first 3 months, one day. So I know it works, but here I am procrastinating. That was before I even had my business really set out. Some of them start making that and continue to make it. But there's no reason for me to be short of money. I talked yesterday about, anybody can have anything if they'll just do it. I believe that just as much as I am sitting here talking to you and you're looking at me like I'm looking at me right now. I believe it with all my heart. And I won't stop even though I'm not making much yet. Because I will make much. As soon as I get home, I'll finish the training from that other thing and get an appointment set up, maybe get it made up so I have it when I get, Monday morning when I can get my first appointment so that I can get going. Because once you start, and 100 trickles in here and 100 there and 200, and, it's just many people within 6 months to a year are doing 6 figures. Now that's not just necessarily in the new outfit, but whatever business they're in that this outfit is helping them in, they're doing 6 figures. It's just like the one gal, she's using this system to help her grow. I didn't really know it before, but I see her in there and she's a contributor as far as knowledge and stuff goes. Keisha Bass, you've been hearing her and seeing her in the if you've been clicking the buttons, but she's nigh unto $1 million in the last 3 years. Well, and anybody can handle that, but not everybody does that good. But she is a go-getter, and she don't have she knows what it takes. You got to do it. If you don't do it, you don't get it. And so that's where I'm at. I haven't been doing it, so I'm not getting it. Mr. Old Procrastinator here. I could blame it on my post-traumatic stress disorder from Vietnam. I could, that is part of it, but I have control over procrastination. I do. Procrastination is stress, getting mad over anything. I wondered all of my life why. I used to think in my 20s I was going crazy. Be working on my car or something and walk over to my little shed where I had my tools and just trip a little bit and go into a cursing rage. I used to think, what in the world? Am I going crazy? Because there was no reason for it. Until, I was struggling in doing my pastoral work, and I was like, I just couldn't figure it out. And one day, somebody handed me a pamphlet. I'm reading this pamphlet. It's on post-traumatic stress disorder. And do you know anybody that goes into a rage over nothing and gets mad like that? Do you know anybody like that? Everything I read in there was my whole last 45-year history. I actually think that I might have got part of my post-traumatic stress disorder from living with my dad. he was a World War II veteran, wouldn't even talk about the things he saw. The only thing he ever told me about over there was when I was going to Vietnam, my dad said, "Be careful of mines." My buddy stepped on one and we couldn't even find enough to put a little box. That's the only thing he ever said, other than the things that he did, visiting here and there and those things. But they saw it. But anyway, I can't blame it on that, because I know what my problem is and I can control it. I got to have some willpower. Do you have willpower? If you can control your willpower, you can have anything you want. You can make this business go. If I can, then I have it going, but it's not where it should be. If I can make it go, anybody can make it go, because I do not do tech very well at all, and that's part of what's holding me up on this other thing. It's a little bit of the tech, but that's a very simple factor part for me to get through this time. But anyway, folks, there's a little button, and I just urge you to have anything you want when you want it. No more payday to payday, struggling and trying to save up enough money for a vacation, or not having time to take vacation because then you have to miss work. You'd rather work through your vacation so you make double money. You know, I've done that before in different places. Come back on my vacation and work. Get paid my vacation pay and work too. But anyway, good night, folks. I'm going to be traveling tomorrow. I'll try to get back to you tomorrow evening. And I hope you're having a very, very wonderful day. I have. The last day here, we get up in the morning and put our stuff in the car and go home. Go home and get started. I promise you, you're not going to have any more big, long breaks like this. You aren't going to be that lucky. Anyway, click the button, folks, and develop some willpower and just do it. If you want it, do it. You're on my list because you clicked the button one time. And so that's why you're getting these emails, because you showed an interest in checking it out. And it's not easy to make that decision, I know. It wasn't for me too bad, because I had already spent a year trying to figure out what was good and what was bad, and got scammed a bunch. Figured this was a scam when I first started it. I figured, well, I'll just drop out right away. It won't hurt nothing to try it. Didn't take me long and I knew I'd found it. Mr. Sandman is out. See you tomorrow.